Welcome to Dynamo Dynamics, winning goals to digital dominance. I'm your host, Danny Perry, and with me as always is my guy, Kai Peterson. And Kai, how are you doing, first of all?
I'm doing good. Excited for Dynamo football to be picking back up.
Yeah, right. Dynamo. Do we have a team in Houston? Do they? It seems like it's one game on, or a week on, or a week off.
Yeah.
So no matches this past week. So how did you handle it?
I mean, we had a bunch of other sports going on. The NBA Finals, the College World Series. There's a lot to watch.
Stuff to do, not in the Club World Cup.
I tuned into maybe a little bit of a game or two, but...
All right, well, we'll catch up. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So, all right, very good. Well, with no Dynamo games, I guess that gives us a bit of a chance to look at what's coming up and the impact on the schedule, the impact on the standings. And the next four for the Dynamo are at Minnesota versus St. Louis, at San Diego versus Salt Lake. So 2 at the top of the table, 2 at the bottom of the table, all Western Conference.
Yeah, it's big.
It's a big 4-game stretch. Yeah.
I mean, we really need to get at least 6 out of here for sure. I would love
12.
12, yeah, I'd love 12, but I think 6 is
minimum,
honestly, because I mean, we're not late in the season, we're in the middle, but this is where points...
This is a make or break stage, I believe, because they're all Western Conference, because 2 of the teams are sitting higher in the table as well, so direct competition, but then these other teams that are at the bottom,
they could just jump us.
Exactly. So this is crucial, man. It's like, this really seems like a make or break 4-game stretch that, 6 points would be, anything less than that is a pretty severe disappointment, I would think.
Yeah.
Just from what your goals are for the season, not, you played great or played bad or anything like that, but for achieving your goals, less than 6 points in this stretch, it's going to tell the tale.
Yeah, because I know we were talking at the beginning of the season, we were predicting like a 4th or 5th spot finish, and we're kind of sitting this whole year we've sat, I think the highest we've sat is 9th, and then we've been down at 13 or 14.
Exactly, and currently sitting in the 11th position on 20 points. But again, there's a cluster above us, and then a couple cluster below us.
Yeah.
so you lose or win, it's better to win right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Or it's better to get a result either way.
And with Minnesota sitting 3rd, playing them away, I mean, it's probably going to be pretty tough.
Tough match regardless of how you look at it.
I mean, I'd be happy. I think the best case scenario is 12 points, but if we can beat the Real Salt Lake and St. Louis and just draw to San Diego and Minnesota, that would be awesome as well.
Yeah, that would be, if we could beat St. Louis and Real and draw the other 2, that would be even better.
Because I mean, that San Diego team is deadly.
For a new, especially for an expansion team. I've never seen an expansion team. They've been top 2 all season long.
They take care of business. They don't really mess up. So I think going into that game with the young squad that we have, I mean, a draw is a win there, especially at this stage, how we're talking about how important this is. We need the points.
We do.
Even if it's only 1 that week, we need it.
Well, first up is Minnesota, though, and that match is being played midweek.
Yeah.
So we have to predict it.
Yeah. Minnesota. Away. I'll let you predict first. I feel like I always give mine.
Man. Minnesota away. My brain tells me 2-0 Minnesota. My heart tells me 1-1 Dynamo. Let's stick with that. 1-1 Dynamo. 1-1 draw.
Yeah. I'm thinking we haven't had a game in a week. We're getting McGlynn back. I think we should put away 2 goals. Minnesota, on the other hand, don't know how many they're going to put away. But I'm going to go 2-1 Dynamo.
2-1 Dynamo.
Got to start off the streak strong. And
just for curiosity's sake, Minnesota has scored 28 and conceded 20 goals this season, and whereas the Dynamo have scored 23 and conceded 28.
So yeah,
does that change your prediction at all?
Nah, we'll go in there and score 2 and give up 1.
All right. So
2-1 Dynamo.
Victory.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think, like I was telling you earlier, I think it'd be great to beat them and then go on the next week and then have all that hype and then fall short to the team that we should beat.
Well, since you put it that way, I guess we need to predict St. Louis then as well.
Yeah, because we got St. Louis on the weekend. But I think St. Louis, man, these teams that we should beat.
We don't.
Yeah. And like when I was at the last game, it felt like we were
Montreal, yeah.
Yeah, it felt like we were dominant the whole first half, and then we gave up 2, and it was just like we got.
That was it. It was like deflating a balloon.
Yeah. But I think I'm gonna go 3-0 that game.
3-0.
I'm just gonna
Who?
Dynamo.
3-0 Dynamo.
I'm just gonna. I feel like I always predict a 2-1 or a 2-0. You know, we got to spark it up a little bit. I think
3-0.
I think we'll get a goal early, and then the floodgates will open. We'll just pepper their goalkeeper and end up having 2 more hit the back of the net.
I love the prediction. That's great. I'm not going with that though. 3-0. I don't know. Have we scored 3 this season?
No, or maybe against Real Salt Lake. What was that? A 4-3 finish for them, or 3-3 draw earlier in the year?
I think that's the only time. If that occurred, that's the only time.
Yeah.
So I can't quite jump on the 3-goal bandwagon, but I do think we're going to beat St. Louis at home, and I'm going to go with a 2-1 scoreline because we have this bad habit of conceding really, really bad goals. So we're going to concede 1. No, I'm not sure. 2-1, 3-0.
Yeah.
For St. Louis. So that gives us based on my predictions, that's 4 points out of the first.
Based on mine, it's 6. So
6. All right. Well, that will be a good start either way it goes. So either of those predictions, Dynamo, we're cool with it. We're good. All right, perfect. Well, I guess that's what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, that's for the MLS. But we did have the NBA Finals. They came to a close, and to tell you the truth, it was a very exciting series.
It was.
It was probably one of the best series since, I don't know, in a couple of years for sure. Yeah, at least good. 4 to 5.
Yeah, it was competitive throughout.
Yeah.
And I think there was genuine doubt as to who was going to win. It wasn't a.
And it's really hard to watch a player get hurt in the finals. And in Game 7, that was really heartbreaking to see.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah,
but that's not as. I was thinking about that, and it's like that injury happening in that game. It's literally the latest point in a season that a player can get injured. And an Achilles tear, it was bad. You could see it when it happened, man. He moved forward and his foot stayed put, and you could just see the ankle, and it was bad.
Yeah, so it really hurts them for next year because he'll be out for. I know, like when Kevin Durant had his, he'll
be out for the entire season next year.
Almost, I think, basically until they make the playoffs. He may come back for.
Yeah. And so you think about that. Indiana was in the conference finals last year. They were in the NBA finals this year. Young team built around their superstar. They're more of a team concept, but he's the engine that kind of makes it go.
Yeah.
Exactly. And for him to be out now, God, for them to be on the verge like this, and then now
1 game away from winning it all, and then next year they could potentially not even make the playoffs.
Exactly. And we don't know what coming back from an Achilles tear, it's hit or miss, and then what the player looks like on the other side. Halliburton is all about quickness, and how does that impact it? So Indiana, man, I feel bad for them because they've built a really good squad, and that key piece that they can't count on for at least a year and maybe longer. God, that sucks.
Yeah. But in the other NBA news, the Rockets got Kevin Durant. As I almost forgot about
Indiana.
that.
We're really sad about your situation, but
yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts on Durant coming to the Rockets?
36
years old.
Yeah, I think he's 37.
He'll be 37.
But he averaged 27 points a game last year. Yeah. It's not like he's. I think with him, we have a chance. We have a real shot at making a very deep playoff run, potentially winning the finals. So, we'll have a 2-year, maybe 3-year stint with him, and before he's going to hang it up. Yeah. So, and with our core young guys, honestly, losing Jalen Green hurts a little bit, but he was either could give you 30 or 0.
That's the point. I mean, if you look at Jalen Green, really exciting player, man. He can score. He's athletic. He can handle the ball. He does it all in a lot of ways, but he's inconsistent.
Yeah.
So if you look at in the last series versus Golden State, he scored in single digits in 4 of those 5 games. So that's that kind of thing. I think he proved it wasn't so much about what Kevin Durant is, although I guess it is, but it's what Jalen Green proved himself not to be, which was they needed a scorer, and you need someone who the playoffs are a half-court game. Every playoff game becomes half-court at some point, and a consistent half-court scorer is what the Rockets do not have. Did not have.
And also having a veteran guy on this team, like we're still, I think the projected starting 5 is, excluding Kevin Durant, the other 4 guys are...
Well, Van Vliet.
That's
has
true.
A championship.
But we're pretty young.
Yeah, you'd be looking at Jabari Smith Jr., Amin Thompson, and Sengun.
Yeah.
And that's a good lineup, but like you said, those guys are all under 24 years old, so under 23 or probably under 23.
So they better learn. They better get a notebook out.
But those are the right players to keep. I mean, we were talked about it a lot during the playoffs about kind of the struggles of Jalen Green and the Rockets' half-court offense and kind of what they needed to get over the hump. And I think they've accelerated their development because they could really still be a very competitive team with Jalen Green and letting that core continue to develop, just like Oklahoma City or Indiana have done. But I think the Rockets are ready to win now. They're ready to go for it, and I can't argue with it. Go for it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think Durant, he won't have as much ball handling pressure, or he won't have as much banging underneath pressure as well, because we've got the big guys.
We'll also be a very tall team now with
Steven Adams, Sengun, and Durant on the floor at the same time.
And Jabari Smith he's like 6'9", 6'10", and I think Thompson's 6'7" or 6'8", and Kevin Durant, they say he's 6'9", but he's really 7 foot.
Yeah. I really didn't think about that. That will be a very tall lineup. But you've got some real good defensive-minded players on this team too. And I think the one part of the trade that I had a little bit of heartburn about was we had to give up Dylan Brooks.
Now we got to go back to disliking him.
Yeah, man, I just started liking the guy. I really like the guy. He's one of those guys on your team, you love him, on the other team you hate him, but he's the kind of guy that every team needs. So who's going to fill that role now, Thompson.
He's
too important for everything on the other side.
Yeah, he's too much of a scorer and less defensive and talking trash mindset than Dylan Brooks.
I think he could do it.
Maybe.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to do it. So I didn't like seeing Brooks go. But otherwise for Durant, it was the number 10 pick that they got from Phoenix a couple of years ago. Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, and then 5 second-round picks.
Second-round guys are a toss-up.
Yeah, exactly. So we shall see, although Jokic is a second-round pick.
Yeah. You got a few guys that are... But, I don't know. It'll be exciting.
We'll see. I think they have as good a shot as any, so way too early prediction on how they'll do?
I can't yet. There's still many more players to get moved around, but I guess we can go a little bit into the Club World Cup. I know Inter Miami advanced for the MLS, so that's really big. Other than that, the tournament's still going on, so...
We got sporadic attendance. In some cases low attendance, some cases great attendance, but not consistent across all the venues. Inter Miami did beat Porto, so that's the first MLS club that's beat a major European club.
Yep.
So a lot of excitement about that. They're through. The other group stage games are taking place at our time today and tomorrow. And we'll see how this thing all plays out, how it ends up. So I guess it's been exciting. It's still, we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Are y'all talking about it?
Let us know your thoughts on the Club World Cup, your thoughts on the new Rockets acquisition, the NBA Finals, upcoming MLS. Let us know everything.
There you go. So talk to us. So let us know what's on your mind. And we will be back next week to see if our predictions held up as far as the Dynamo are concerned. And so until then, thanks for joining. We'll talk to you then.